702.
Health and wellness.
Health and wellness indeed. My guest, Dr. Thabo Mnisi, family physician. Dr. Thabo Mnisi, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Great having you with us. Dr. Mnisi?
Good morning. Hello, can you hear me?
Now I can. Welcome, sir. Lovely having you with us.
Yeah, no, I was saying good morning to yourself, Dr. Thabo, and the listeners as well as the team that you're working with at 702.
Thank you so much. During the break, I was yawning and not out of boredom, but I suppose a little bit of exhaustion may have kicked in. And I thought I reached out for a bit of an energy drink, and I realized that I forgot to bring it to the studio. And it brings us to this question that how dependent can people be on these energy drinks, and what are some of the unwanted effects that may arise from that dependency?
Yes, indeed, Dr. Thabo, that's the fact. Remember that the body is tuned in a way that it should always seek to protect itself. So when you yawn or when you feel fatigued, you're feeling like sleepy or resting, it is not a bad thing that you should counteract with energy drinks or anything. It is the nature's way of saying the body it has outstretched itself physiologically. You can fast food, but you can't fast sleeping. So the body will always shut down, and any forced chemical to keep it alert against its mode of resting is like over revving a car, where you'll actually kill the clutch plate. So it is not a good thing to do. The best you can do in those circumstances, if you can't rest, is to drink pure water. Just rehydrate yourself, because sometimes dehydration can cause that. The energy drinks, yes, to answer your question, there's been a 70% increase in the use of the energy drink by the youth, according to a survey that was done by FDA, Food and Drug Administration Authority. And that has led to dependence, and the main ingredient that causes dependence is ginseng, as well as the caffeine that is contained in those drinks. Actually, most of those drinks contain double the caffeine that you find in coffee. In a granule of coffee, you'd find about 2 to 8% of caffeine, whereas 1 to 3% of caffeine in coffee, and then you'll find 2 to 8% of caffeine in energy drinks. That is almost 3 times what you'd find in coffee. So drinking one can of energy drink is equivalent to taking 3 cups of coffee.
That's quite a bit. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Are young people more susceptible to energy drinks than the rest of us?
Yeah, quite definitely they are. Their lifestyle, young people are more nocturnal, and the body is tuned to rest in the night, in the cool of the night. So they are quite active in the night. Animals have a natural taurine, which is one of the ingredients in those drinks, high amino acids. Your wolves and your jackals, which are nocturnal animals, they have more of that, and that's why they can stay up at night. But we don't have a lot of that. We can safely use about 3,000 milligrams of it. Anything more than that would be very dangerous. Up to 6,000 milligrams damage our DNA. So the young and the youth people who want to be on an overdrive to be performing when they should be resting, it's not good for them.
Yeah, and you are talking about a very interesting concoction. I'm also thinking about individuals who mix energy drinks with alcohol. It could be, I don't want to mention their names, but this energy drink with some whiskey or with gin or whatever it is that they mix it with. What does that produce? That sounds a bit toxic.
Very, very dangerous thing to do. Yeah, we will not mention particular trade names, but I'll just say the ingredients that are contained. Certain trade names don't contain certain ingredients. For an example, the safer ones would not contain guarana. at the same time they contain caffeine. So that are considered more dangerous would contain caffeine and guarana. The names are known, I know them, but I won't mention them now. I don't want to decampaign people's market, but caffeine would be considered safe at about 200 milligrams daily. If you look into the drink, just take note of this and look at the ingredient side. And then ginseng, which lowers the sugar, you must avoid if diabetes. Now, what happens is that alcohol itself lowers the sugar. So you take alcohol that lowers sugar, you take ginseng that lowers sugar, both of them lead to dehydration. You lack water, you are dehydrated, you are low on sugar, so it's going to be very dangerous. You're going to be active in the first few hours of taking. Later on, when something called Malibay effect takes over, which means the alcohol in the stomach is now moving into the blood and is going now into the blood-brain barrier, into your brain, then you become stuporous in the early hours. And then you get a very long hangover because of that. Vitamin B is considered safe. It's an ingredient in most of those drinks. The sugar at about 62 grams is what we need daily, about 250 of calories a can. And then there is another ingredient, which is an added sugar that these energy drinks would have, which is a glucuronolactone. Glucuronolactone, it also gives you an energy. It's another form of a sugar byproduct. And then you get taurine, which I mentioned earlier. It's an amino acid that boosts athletic performance and metabolism, which we said it's safe at about 3 grams and unsafe at 6 grams, as it damages the DNA. This is according to Frontier in Physiology studies that they did in 2021 review. And then the other ingredients, which include the guarana, which we find in Amazon basin in Brazil. The people there, they use it as their own herb to boost their energy. Now, guarana and caffeine together, they cause palpitation and they increase blood pressure, as you had actually said, because they interfere with the electrolytes and they make the heart to be easily stimulated. Yeah. Now, the danger of this is that what you are doing, you are having energy, you want to use the energy. At the same time, your heart is beating fast, which means the fast needs oxygen itself to keep alive, and that may lead to what they call rhabdomyolysis or damage of your muscles, and that can actually lead to arrhythmia and even heart attack or heart failure. In some instances, heart arrest or cardiac arrest.
Yes.
And then the ginkgo is what is contained in others. It's a product that originates from China. Some studies are saying among the mice, it causes thyroid and liver cancer. They are still observing its effect amongst human beings. Yeah. And then you get the carnitine, which can lead to stomach upset and fishy odor, according to NIH. Yes. Now, this ingredient, except vitamin B, vitamin C, less than 62 grams of sugar, and caffeine that should be less than 200 milligrams. The others would not be safe. Sure. So don't mix it with alcohol. Yeah. Don't mix it with and don't mix. The best thing to do is that if you take one of those energy drinks, I would avoid the ones that contain caffeine, taurine, and guarana at the same time. Rather, take one that contains either of this, either caffeine without taurine and guarana, or guarana without caffeine.
Doc,
and then drink water.
Yeah, you want all of us to go through the medical school, because when we are drinking, we are not going to be reading any of that stuff. We won't be looking at the contents and that. But I mean, I'm just wondering. But before I even ask, because I've asked people to call in, I think it's only fair that I allow them to also throw in some questions before we say goodbye, because we have limited time. Send your questions to 072 702 1702.
Good day. Thibos, could you please ask your guest what he knows about BioPlus? It's not an energy drink. It's a booster. Are there any ramifications for boosters? Because they're not the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Thabo Mnisi?
Yes, the BioPlus will contain more of your vitamin B complexes, vitamin B12 and vitamin B1, B2, B8, it's considered safe but can lead to dehydration. So when you take it, you have to take a lot of water as well. But you don't need to take more than one a day. The problem with all these drinks, they are legally registered for use. The problem with us is how we use them. We tend to abuse them. Take more than one, you take them very fast, you take them without water. So you need to take one in 24 hours, but take it with water. Then you are likely going to be safe.
Yeah, give us a call on 011-883-0702 if you've got a question to ask Dr. Thabo Mnisi, or send your thoughts to 072-702-1702. I would love to hear from you. Do you take energy drinks during the day? How many of them do you take? How dependent are you on energy drinks for you to be able to survive the day? Could be that you are working long hours, you are studying, you've got a hectic lifestyle, and without energy drinks, you can't just really make it, or at least so you think. Have you started feeling some effects of taking those energy drinks? Please let us know. Dr. Thabo Mnisi is a family physician. He's joining us to inform us, to educate us, and to enlighten us about the effects of these energy drinks and what to do. Let's go to some of the questions that have come through. This one says, my question regarding energy drinks. It is said that energy drinks boost sexual performance. Is this true? That's number one, Doc. And he follows up and he says, and what could be the possible negative effects of having excessive energy drinks, taking them? I think you've covered the excessive part, but let's stick with the former question.
Yeah. Only the ginseng is considered to have some effect, positive effect on sexual performance, but it is not good in treating erectile dysfunction, because it doesn't lead to peripheral vasodilatation, which you need in ED. So ginseng will have. That's the one that contains the Chinese product. And then some of the side effects that I didn't mention amongst those that we mentioned is nervousness, acute kidney injury, seizures or fits, acute mania, instantaneous insanity, stroke, and fatality obviously was mentioned. So this was just to add on the list.
Certainly. Going straight to the calls. Liz, you are in Alberton. Good morning.
Good morning, doctor. I wanted to know, I've tried all sorts of energy drinks when I feel fatigue, when I feel tired, but it does nothing to me. I've even BioPlus, I don't feel any change. Somebody even suggested to me I should try Grandpa and Coke, because apparently that also gives you a kick. It does nothing to me. Nothing. I don't feel any difference.
Grandpa and Coke.
Yeah, they say it gives you a kick. I don't know. They say Grandpa and Coke gives you a kick.
Liz, let me yield to the expert. The other Thabo is a doctor. I'm not. Let's ask him what he thinks of it. Dr. Mnisi?
Yes, thank you very, very much. She has probably reached a tolerance state. There's something we call a drug tolerance, where you actually, your receptors to a caffeine are actually so many that even if you take all of it, it doesn't cover all the receptors to give you a desired effect. So she has developed tolerance for those drugs, or she doesn't have receptors at all for these energy drinks in herself. Because for energy drink to work, there must be receptors or tentacles on the cells that take up the chemical ingredient into the cell itself, and then it interacts with the mitochondria to produce energy. So if you don't have receptors, it don't go to the mitochondria to produce the desired energy. As far as Coke is concerned, Coke has caffeine in it, and then I think the people, when they said you must take aspirin or Grandpa, is because those are blood thinners. So they think by blood thinning, you'll be able to deliver much of it, the glycemic carbohydrates. So I'd advise her to go and check if she doesn't have cholesterol. People with dyslipidemia tend to be tired and nothing works for them, like it is in her case. So she'll need to go and check for cholesterol. You might find that she has abnormal cholesterol, and treating cholesterol might be actually what helps. She also needs to check her glucose level as well, because people who are hypoglycemic, when they drink these things, the effect is the opposite. The sugar goes down and you still feel tired.
Okay, Doc. Let me go straight to another caller, Alton in Parktown. Hey, Alton.
Hi, how are you?
I'm chilled. How's it going with you?
I'm good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So a quick one for the doctor there. I just wanted to find out what's the effect of sports gels on medium-sized athletes, 42 years of age, not so active as in a full-time athlete, but just a medium, somebody who practices 42 kilometers, 21 kilometers, somewhere there.
Thabo, are the gels consumable as well?
Yes, it's consumable.
Oh, okay.
Some are powder, some are.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yes,
I see. Dr. Mnisi?
What is the name of the gels he's referring to?
I don't want to say the brand names, but it's sort of this sachet that you just you sort of they come in sachets and you just drink them when you're doing those long marathons. Yeah, somewhere in between 21 to 42 kilometers.
I wouldn't be familiar with them, but I think the callers would be listening, those that would know better. But I would say most of them that contain would need to contain sodium and calcium as well as potassium, which you need for your muscles, especially if you're going to use a lot of it. As you sweat, you lose water and salt. So in order to replenish your electrolytes, then you'd use those sachets. They would contain probably some glycemic carbohydrate that actually needs your brain would need for that. I wouldn't go so far as claiming whether they contain taurine or guarana like others, but those would be what I know is normally supplements that are given for people in athletics.
Yeah. Dr. Mnisi, thanks for that. It's now 6 minutes to 12 o'clock. And I was just wondering if you have an issue with energy drinks. We're discussing those right now with my guest, who's a family physician, Dr. Thabo Mnisi. And we're just trying to find out how dangerous are these to you, and if you've formed a habit around these. 0727021702. Let's go to your voice note and hear what you had to say. Or it's a text that says, I see so many kids drinking NAJs, Powerade. I'm assuming this is not good for them either. So, Dr. Mnisi, what are some of the easiest signs that you can see that this is getting out of control?
Yeah, some of the easiest signs is that when it gets out of control is when a person cannot cope without a drink. Then he's developing tolerance, is developing dependence. Then it's one of the signs to say you have to stop. And the other sign is when they feel nervous if they are not taking the drink, or they feel overly nervous when they take the drink. And then also when they eat less, like they feel full most of the time when they take this drink, they feel like they're okay. Then they that physiologically something wrong is happening.
Yeah.
And that is what you pick up before you pick up those side effects you mentioned at your opening, because those ones would mean that now the damage is caused.
Yeah, Dr. Mnisi, I wanted to ask very quickly, what about those ones where they say they are sugar-free? Very famous brands of energy drinks, and they would say sugar-free. Are those ones better?
Yes, those ones would be better because I know what you're talking about. I use it sometimes. It would be better because it doesn't contain the guarana and the ginseng in high quantity, and then it doesn't contain the glucuronolactone more than the prescribed amount, and hence the sugar level would be down. But that sugar-free one as well, amongst people taking insulin who are diabetic, it won't be advisable because it further lowers the sugar. So you'll have insulin and that lowering the sugar, and then you feel even more tired. So I'd ask diabetic people on medication to stay away from energy drinks.
Well, Doc, thank you so much for your time and for your insights. Really appreciate it. You've taught us quite a bit. I hope that we can chat again in the near future.
Most welcome. Thank you, everyone. Dubai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thabo Mnisi, family physician. 4 minutes to 12 o'clock.